Today I'm going to be breaking down the laziest way you can make $300 a day just using your phone in 2026. To give you a bit of context, this was the money making method that actually got me out of my construction job originally. And as you can see here, this is some of the money I was able to make while still working a full-time job. I was still doing 50 hours a week while being able to just essentially send DMs from my phone. And to give you guys even more proof, this is my guy Lewis, who reached out to me 6 months ago on TikTok. Said, he's been watching my videos, he's 25 years old, fully qualified plasterer, wakes up really early, wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, pretty sick of it, doesn't want to do it for the rest of his life. And as you can see here, this is him working. Fast forward to today, this is me and Lewis talking on the phone, but on his first day of his new role as an appointment setter, he was able to make $300 in commission. Fast forward to his second month into the role, he made $20,000 Australian just sending DMs from his phone. He's doing it full time now. He's been able to quit his plastering job here, and yeah, he's literally just living life.
Just going to give a shout out to Huddy. This would not have been possible without you, bro. Not going to lie. Just sitting by the pool, just shooting off DMs. Big hit bar. Beautiful girl. What more can a man want? Like I said, thanks Huddy, and everyone, really.
Now let's talk about it. What is this money making method? Well, it's called appointment setting. And all you're essentially doing is making the connection between a prospect and a product or service provider. Here's two examples of TGR and Bread Scales, who both have their own offer that they sell. And essentially what you'd be doing in this case is working on, say, TJR's account and answering DMs just from your phone. Now, I know you're already spending hours and hours on your phone, probably doom scrolling, probably sending DMs anyway. So it's a good way to use that time that you're already on your phone to be able to make a few $100s a day. Now, how does this actually work? Now, TJR posts a lot of content which racks up millions of views, and by using CTAs in his videos, he funnels that attention into his DMs, which is where he converts his leads into his digital product or service. Now, your job as a high ticket sales rep, or in this case, as an appointment setter, you turn these leads into high paying customers on behalf of TJR. Now, in this case, and this is the space that I recommend getting into, which is the high ticket space, these are high ticket priced items, which is anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000 and more. But because of this, you need to be trained and skilled in setting and eventually closing if that's what you want to get into, to work into this space. Now, there's a few different ways roles can look. Sometimes they pay you commission only, so you only get paid based off your performance, but there's also roles that will pay you base on top of commission. Now, in most cases in appointment setting, when you actually hop on a role, you're only going to get paid commission only, but this is a good thing. This means that you're going to get paid based off your performance. On average, an appointment setter makes about 5% commission per sale of a high ticket product. And you can imagine, if you sold a $10,000 product, which is very, very common in this space, you could make $500 just sending DMs. This is literally a 15 to 20 minute process. You book in a call, you don't have to do anything in terms of actually closing this prospect. You just need to link the prospect with the business and you make commissions in return. Now, the reason that I recommend getting into this over everything else, the key benefit is that it's the easiest, lowest barrier to entry to get into something like this. At the end of the day, you're only learning one skill that only realistically takes a couple weeks max to learn properly. If you compare this to things like affiliate marketing, e-commerce, SMMA, day trading, day trading takes years, takes 1 to 2 years to actually learn the market and understand where to trade. Even SMMA, it takes a lot of time to learn all the skills involved with it: sales, marketing, building out systems, building teams. Again, it could take anywhere between 6 to 12 months, even longer, to get into something like this. But we've seen guys such as Caleb in his first month was able to make 6.8K while still working a warehousing job. Or even Matt, who was also working full-time, able to make 550 USD in a single week while still working a job. And last but not least, TK, who was also working a warehousing job, made 3.6K in a single week purely by appointment setting. The proof is in the pudding. Appointment setting is by far one of the easiest ways to get into making money online, the best side hustle to get into, I'm proof of that. These guys are proof of that. And at the end of the day, you're learning an essential skill to business. You cannot run a business without learning appointment setting and actually learning sales. Now, like I said earlier, what's going to happen is the business or the influencer you're working with is going to have a marketing strategy that's going to bring in leads. That could look like organic content, that could look like ads, that could look like collabs, that could look like an email marketing strategy. But the point is, there's going to be leads coming from that marketing strategy into your ecosystem. Now, your job as an appointment setter when these leads come in are to find these key things. You first need to gather the information on the prospect. So what actually is their problem and how long has it been going on for? Secondly, you need to find their desired outcome. So they have the problem, but where do they actually want to go from here? Thirdly, you need to find what's missing in order to achieve their desired outcome, right? So they have this problem, they want to go here, but there is a gap. They don't know how to actually get there. That's what you need to uncover. And fourthly, you need to sell your solution. Or in this case, you're not actually selling anything, you're just pitching a booked call. On this book call, a closer will jump on, and that is their job to understand their problems, essentially go through this exact framework and get them the solution they need to get to where they want to go. Now, for me, the best way I learn is actually seeing it in front of me. So what I'm going to do is break down a real conversation of what something like this would look like. Working as an appointment setter, bringing a lead in, understanding these 4 keys, and then obviously pitching them the call. So what usually happens when an interested prospect either opts into an ad or sees an organic piece of content, they're gonna reach out with something called a CTA. That stands for a call to action. In this case, the CTA is skills, the word skills. So your job is, once again, to understand why they're actually here. So a simple message like, yo, whatever their guy's name is, thanks for reaching out. What's actually got you interested in making money online? What we've done now is gathered what the start of the problem is. The guy said, just sick of my job, man. I need something else ASAP. Now, a good response is something like this. I feel you, bro. Been there myself and felt the exact same when I was working in construction. What is it about your job that's got you feeling sick of it? See, we're just trying to dig deeper into the problem. We need to understand exactly how are they feeling, what's life been looking like, and again, why they're even here in the first place. This guy said, long hours and hard labor, bro. My back is killing me. So your job here is to relate, right? Make sure you make it feel like it's an actual conversation. Saying something like, totally understand where you're coming from, bro. I was in the same position as you before is a good way at relating where they're coming from. Like, I totally understand, bro. I've been in the exact same position as you before. So you're not putting yourself above this guy at all. You're trying to level down and bro down with the guy. Next up, he says, would love to see how I can help. Where are you from and what are you currently doing for work? Now, the more of an understanding we have from this guy's current situation, once again, the better we can understand the problem, the pain, and once again, relate to where he's coming from. So this guy says he's from Australia and he works as a chippy. He works as a carpenter. He replies with, nice, bro. I'm from Australia too. But damn, you're in the trades. That's definitely a grind. Again, you're relating. You said you're in the trades. You said you've come from that exact same position. You're making the prospect feel like they're not in a different situation to you. You know, this guy's come from the exact same place that I have. So now that we've uncovered where they're coming from, their current position, the guy's from Australia, he's working as a carpenter, he's working long hours, his back's killing him. We need to understand, okay, where does he actually want to go? He's stuck here, but where does he want to go? Where is his goals? What does he want to do? So this guy asks, how much would you want to make from the online business to match what you're earning now? Just so I can see if it's realistic. This guy replies with, probably match my income to start off and then make 10K a month, bro. This guy replies with, yeah, bro, starting to match your income and then scale is the best approach. And yeah, 10K a month is definitely a solid goal and definitely achievable. I've spoken to a lot of people who wants to make the same figures as you. What would making 10K a month do for your lifestyle, right? So it's understanding, okay, yeah, you want to match your income. That's a great thing. You want to get to 10K a month, making it seem realistic, making it seem like it's achievable in his mind. So saying, look, bro, I talk to guys like this all the time. Like, it's not very uncommon for people to want to make 10K a month. Then asking, what would 10K a month actually do for you? So he starts to visualize and starts to explain his goals a little bit more. We need to understand his goals. So once again, we can have a tailored pitch to this sale. The guy then replies, just travel and spend more time with my loved ones, man. I'm sick of being in the same cycle. So there's a lot of pain coming from this guy. He wants to travel. He wants to see his family more, see his missus, potentially see, his friends, whoever, but he's just sick of being stuck working a job. The guy says, true that, bro. Being in the same cycle can definitely be draining. Again, relating. Being able to travel and spend more time with your loved ones is priceless. Having that freedom was the main aspect for me too. Again, relating, understanding his pain, saying, this is the exact same for me, so I definitely get where you're coming from. This is rapport building. This is building that relationship. Then he finishes with asking a question. What have you tried or done so far to achieve that freedom that you want? This is where we start to uncover the problem, right? So he's in this current situation. He wants to be here, but obviously there's a gap, okay? Because he hasn't gotten to his goals yet. So what we need to uncover is what is actually happening. Why haven't you been able to get there yet? So the guy says, nothing really, man, just dropshipping. He says, I see. I also tried dropshipping, but it didn't work for me. How did it go for you? He says, not great, man. Made a store and made $50. Haha. Says, haha, that's some experience right there, bro. Why don't you think it didn't work out? Now, again, uncovering the problem. What was actually missing for him to not be able to make dropshipping work? That way, where he says, okay, I need guidance, I need this, I need that, you can then have a tailored pitch to his problems. This is the best way to sell. The guy then says, I just didn't know what to do, man. I needed some extra help. So clearly here, he wanted to make dropshipping work. He wanted to change his current situation to his desired outcome, but he needed the extra help, but he didn't have it. What ends up happening is the appointment setter here gets the influencer or the business to actually send a voice message. And essentially he just says, I totally get where you're coming from. I also needed the help when I started, again, relating to it. And then essentially just books the call. I'm going to drop the calendar below so you can lock in a date and time that works for you. Sends the booking link and then says, I'll be online for the next 15 minutes. Let me know when you've sorted that out, G, and I'll send a screenshot of the email so then I can confirm it on my end. Now, adding this just adds a little bit more scarcity and urgency. Like, I've dropped this here for you, so then you can book in a call and actually get the help that you needed with dropshipping, but here for sales instead. And then again, adding the urgency, so he has to get this done in the next 15 minutes, so then he can let him know. And it's as simple as that. You book in the lead, you make sure you follow up, you make sure the guy actually shows up to the call, and boom. If the guy closes, you're making $500 on a $10,000 offer. Okay, now that you have a basic understanding of what it actually takes to be an appointment setter and what the work would actually look like, now we move on to actually trying to find a role. Now, when it comes to actually finding a role and landing one, there's really two different main options here. You can either do outreach via different platforms like Instagram, School, LinkedIn, Indeed, or you can invest yourself into an agency which will both train you and find you opportunities to work on. Now, I'll be honest, this was the first way that I tried, right? I was doing outreach on all these platforms, even more than that, but it was taking me months and months to be able to find one. The biggest reasons were because, number one, I didn't have any experience, but the biggest thing was I wasn't even trained, right? There's a lot of businesses that will give you a chance if you're at least trained, because obviously they understand not everyone's going to be experienced. But if you don't actually know what you're doing, they have to take time out of their day to train you and then even suffer through the business, because obviously they're not going to make a whole lot of money when they've got a new guy on there that hasn't got any experience, and it's realistically not worth their time. So for me personally, this is just what worked. I invested in an agency that did both these things, trained me, helped me understand it. I did role plays with them, and then they literally helped me and placed me on a role to start working on. Now, this is the agency that I went through that trained me, gave me the mentorship, gave me the guidance that I needed, and placed me on my role. It's also the place where Lewis and all the other guys that I had shown you seen results also go through. Now, I'm not going to say it's necessary to have to invest in an agency and get that extra help, but it definitely takes a lot longer when you do it on your own. Think about building a house completely on your own. You've got no experience and you've got YouTube to learn from. You're obviously going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to get a lot of things wrong, and the quality of the house isn't going to be that great compared to if, say, you were an apprentice working for a house builder, him showing you the ropes because he's done it for 10, 20 years now, him explaining his method and exactly how he's done it the last 20 years, you're obviously going to build a lot higher quality house and, again, get to that goal, get to that place that you actually want to be a hell of a lot quicker. Now, what that would actually look like if you invested in an agency would be actually getting coaching calls, having a one-on-one coach, having a way to get feedback on the work that you're doing so that you learn the proper way from A to Z and you don't make mistakes and then continue to make them because you don't know what the right or wrong answer is. Once you get fully trained and you understand what the fuck you're doing, this exact same agency posts hiring jobs all the fucking time. Here's some examples of some opportunities for DM setters: pay per show and 3K a month opportunity. So on target earnings, you're gonna make at least 3K USD, something that you can still work while you're working a job, and also uncapped commission. So you're going to most likely make 3K a month, but you can make as much as you want to make. Here's another example: hiring appointment setters, $500 to $1.5 thousand per appointment guaranteed. The on-target earning potential is 5 to 20K a month, just like Lewis, as I was showing earlier. Point is, boys, if you want to get into this money making method, especially before 2026 hits, I definitely recommend getting some type of training and learning this as quickly as possible. If investing in an agency or a mentorship is something that you're interested in, so then you can get the right training, so then you can be able to land roles and get help with that, there is a link in my description to book in a call with me personally, where we can talk about it, understand where you're coming from, and help you out as best as we can. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram. I'll link it down below, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.